Hello, welcome back. After like a month to Cardblade Games North America, we are starting things off with Achtung, Cthulhu. A big thank you to Modifius for supplying Garblade Games with a copy of the brand new edition of Achtung, Cthulhu, which we'll be playing tonight and for the next few weeks. We're going to be doing the Romanian Imperative, which is one of the published adventures that they put out for the system. And this is the first foray into 2D20 for many of us. So this will be fun and interesting and a learning experience. And in the theme of Cthulhu that we've done for like the last 6 months. We're not Cthulhu'd out at all. So let's do a round table. Everybody, why don't we introduce our characters? Maybe tell us who your character is, kind of like what your specialty is, because everybody's going to have their own specialty, and maybe why you've been recruited by Section M to be a part of the secret war. For those at home who don't know, so Achtung Cthulhu takes place during World War II. It is like a secret war during the war, so it's like the occult and Cthulhu and the supernatural war that is happening behind the scenes while World War II is waging on. And these fine folks here are agents of Section M, who are members of it and a faction taking on this secret war. So that's Achtung Cthulhu and the setting. Jeff gets to be first as Pavel.
I am Pavel Voracek. I am very interesting, mysterious cult leader. I am from Central. No, this is gonna be terrible.
You're Borat.
You gotta stop me. My name is a little bit like that, yeah. So I am Pavel Voracek. I think I'm originally from Czechoslovakia, and but I travel quite considerably. I'm a cultist. I'm a spiritual leader. I am a dream walker, man. I get into people's dreams. I am I'm very smart. I'm academic. I'm a mystic. Cast spells, apparently. I also carry I have a very special animal named Gregor, who I carry in a wicker basket on my back, who we'll be seeing regularly throughout. I thought about bringing back Alf but I figure that didn't go well for Evan's character. So let me just do something else. And if you've ever seen a marmot, because that's what it is, it's a marmot. It's pretty fantastic. But yeah, that's my guy. He speaks a couple different languages. I imagine he's with the group because he is a linguist. He's well traveled over Central Europe. I think of him like a wandering, like folklorist, anthropologist type, and he's got some. He can kind of get in there with the dark forces. He summons some things from time to time that he probably shouldn't. So yeah, it's just weather, Jeremy. He just summons weather.
He's a weather wizard.
Storm. I'm a hodgepodge of like 10 different comic book characters.
Excellent.
That's Pavel.
Pavel. Well, we definitely need a linguist.
I'm
Linguistic
very good
specialist.
at the languages.
Yeah, we need that. Because before this was like, hey, does anybody speak or understand German? Is like, nope. We're going behind enemy lines here, folks. It's good if we know German. Megan, you're playing Ruby.
I'm playing Ruby McKay. She is from Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan.
Yes.
Right? And she lives alone, like 35. She's worked in Veroba's diner her entire life. All of a sudden, this quiet gentleman walks in. Roger. It turns out to be the love of her life. World War II happens. He gets conscripted and goes off to England. There's nothing in Moose Jaw for Ruby, so she follows him. Always been a bit of a fanatic with knives. Naturally, she becomes like a field nurse, right, for the British Army, and her regiment, along with Roger, was like on off duties in the eastern part of London when, barrage happens, building falls on entire regiment except for Ruby. She wakes up in a hospital, not a scratch on her, and ever since then she's kind of heard Roger's voice in the back of her head, always kind of had a foot on the other side. And it turns out that she ended up helping a major on the front lines when she started having conversations with her beloved, and he recruited her. Thought, here's this nurse good with knives and so forth. So we'll see where she goes.
Nice. We got a Canadian. I love it. Continue on the trend, but it's not a what the hell's the surname? Riverby, yeah. What the hell's the surname that he always uses? It's not a Riverby. All right. Aaron, you're playing Harry Hammer? What's it?
Yep. So I'm playing Captain Harry Hammer. He's if you looked at him, you'd think he's about 30. Probably played football in college, but he's not just brawn, he's brains too, because when he was in college, he studied experimental physics and engineering. But then the war kicked off in Europe, and he joined the U.S. Army. Of course, while he was in basic training, they recognized that he had some smarts to him too. So he was pulled out of basic training. They put captain's bars on his shoulders, and he was put in the majestic section of the U.S. military to study special weapons and special weapon development. And that's where he really started to shine as an engineer in helping to develop some of these special weapons projects. But he was also a good soldier. So when the time came to send a liaison officer to Section M, he was selected because they wanted to both field test some of the weapons that were coming out of Majestic, and they wanted somebody with his eyes and ears on the prize, collecting information about Section M weaponry and perhaps Black Sun weaponry and Natchwolf weaponry. So he's got his own missions from Majestic that have brought him over here, but he is dedicated to stopping the Axis threat, so that will be his prime responsibility.
Yeah, cool. You get all the weird weapons from Majestic.
Yeah, he carries an E-bar, which is a lightning gun, and an electrified trench knife.
Yeah, I don't know what I've done by allowing that. We'll find out. We'll see what that looks like. I have read through this, and there are some pretty tough opposition. So we'll see. You might need.
You haven't seen nothing yet. It will be fine. We will go through this like tornado through cornfield.
Now, I will say one of his engineering talents, or his boffin talent, that's the class he is, a boffin. So kind of a intellectual scientist, and he's a dilettante, which means he's kind of a jack of all trades, master of none. But he took prototype. And the first prototype he designed is a device that mimics the talent hard as nails. And then his two other talents are defensive. So when he's fighting, when he's taking ranged fire, when he's getting shot at, the difficulty to hit him is increased by 1. And then his third talent was engineering. And for this adventure, he's made his E-bar, his lightning gun, reliable. So the first time, and I bring this up now because the first time I roll a complication with it, the complication doesn't count the first time. So that, you don't blow me up, because you roll a D5 after that on the complication table for the E-bar, and they are ugly consequences.
You can always just give me 2 threat and make that complication go away, though.
That's true. I'm a big Modifius fan, and I will throw threat at you like nobody's business.
Oh, so that means I need to use it. Okay. Yeah. To make complications go away, just give me threat. It's that simple. Okay. Last but not least, we have Jonathan Morris, or Sergeant Jonathan Morris.
That's right. I'm playing Sergeant Jonathan Morris. I'm a soldier, career head knocker. Now, rumor has it that a year ago I died, but the powers that be decided that I should get an experimental blood transfusion, and it got me on my feet. That's great. Except now I'm kind of a deathly shade of pale. I find myself increasingly detached from the horrors of the world and the people within it. It's okay, though. because that spark, that fire that gets me out of bed wanting to break people's face and crunch their bones, I still got that. So I'm going to make the best of my second chance. And I'm glad to go wherever they send me. And yeah, so you told me we're playing like pulp action in World War II, and I can be like some twisted super soldier. I 100% picked up a shield. I'm going to shield punch people all to hell. It's going to be great.
Yeah, that's the cool thing about the character creation in this is like you can be a regular soldier, or you can kind of like get into the spells, and then spells can kind of function as superpowers because there is a super soldier or experimental soldier talent here. It's really neat. It's cool. This
fun.
is very pulpy. Think like Hellboy levels of World War II pulp going on here, mixed with like Captain American stuff. It's awesome. The chat is very excited that you're back as Walken.
Yeah, man. You're like you took like Claymore's like abilities and you combined them with like martial sensibilities.
That's
like,
right.
I love it. It's like these two powers combined into one.
That's true.
Oh, wonderful.
Shield bash. And
Very exciting.
Evan will be joining us, but he can't make it tonight. He'll be playing Henri. He's French. Is he a member of the Resistance? I don't know. I'm not quite too sure. I just know he's French.
Sounds made up.
Yeah, right. But I don't know if he's French Canadian or like French.
No, he's probably Henri Riverby.
Henri Riverby. Let's see. Yeah, that's a good call. I wish he would be. Is he a Riverby? No, I can't even pronounce his last name. And I'm not going to attempt to because I'm terrible.
It is French for Riverby. It's French. Well, it is.
Okay, so
you can trust me. I am linguist.
Quick rundown of the rules. This is a 2d20 system, so for every test, you're always throwing at least 2d20. You're going to roll 1 for your skill and 1 for the attribute. I'll tell you which you're going to use. So it isn't like agility is always tied to a certain skill, like it'll be situational. And you'll want to roll underneath the two numbers combined. So if you have a 10 for an agility and a 5 for fighting, you want to roll under 15. That's your target number you want to get under. Each die you roll underneath that's a success. If you roll a 1, you get 2 successes. Extra successes go into the party momentum. We'll talk about momentum here in a moment. But they're going to have a target number of successes you want to achieve to be successful for any given test. You can buy additional d20s up to a maximum of 5 by spending momentum. If you don't have momentum and you want to use the cool things that momentum allows you to do, you can give me threat, and that will allow you to gain some momentum. So there's always a way to gain it outside of rolling successes. If you roll a 20, that is a complication. And we were talking about complications earlier. That's bad things that I introduced to the scene, but you can also buy away complications by giving me 2 threat. It's great. You can just make it go away. That's the basics of the game. You all start with Fortitude, 3 Fortitude, which allow for special things to happen. Not Fortitude, Fortune. And Fortune is only regained at the beginning of a new adventure. So keep that in mind. You have 3 Fortune, but when you spend it, it's gone. It says that there are, if your GM's nice, they can, give it to you at their discretion, but I'm not nice. So hang on to that 3 Fortune for as long as you can. But I put handouts in the game here. If you go over there, there's things for Fortune spends, momentum spends, and such. Jeff also shared some excellent documents before this, but things Fortune can do is automatically give you a critical success, buy you a reroll, additional major action. In combat, you get a minor action and a major action. Avoid defeat, so avoid dying. So Fortune is very important. So keep in mind you have 3, and you're probably going to only have 3 for this whole adventure, not per session, for the whole adventure.
Now, are you gonna allow the rule of voluntary failure? Like if I've got a skill test and I voluntarily fail it to get a Fortune point back?
Oh,
that's one of the ways of regaining Fortune.
Oh,
I will fail every time.
I was gonna say it's just like a menial roll. You're all just gonna be like, I don't care. I fail.
I mean, the rules say it can't be a 0 difficulty, and there there has to be consequences.
Okay.
To the failure,
okay.
So.
Yes. Let's do it. I like it. Let's do it. I like that a lot. Okay. So that's rolling. That's how the dice work. That's how this all kind of plays out with the 2d20 system. So 2d20 on every roll to a maximum of 5d20, which you can purchase through momentum and threat and such. What else? What else we got in this system that we want to talk about? We got momentum. There's general momentum spends. There's things you can spend momentum on in combat specifically. You can buy additional d20s, like I said. You can create a truth. Every character, scene, NPC, PC, you have some truths to you. And these are things that drive or can be manipulated about a scene or a person. So you can buy truths to change a scene. You can introduce something or maybe take something away from a given scene or an NPC you're encountering.
You can also use your personal truths. Like if a personal truth that you have lines up with what you're trying to do, you can see if that will reduce the difficulty of the task. I'm a trained marksman. So let's say I was at extreme range and it was going to be a difficulty target of 3. I could say, well, I'm a trained marksman. Does that mean difficulty is only 2?
Mm-hmm.
There are other ways that your personal truths can be used too.
And in combat, you can even create truths as well for a combat scene. So there's all kinds of cool things. It's neat. There's a lot of ways to play with this. I think that's it for the overview. Do you guys have any questions about it? We'll just kind of dive in and play.
Hey, did we get anything for Chuck giving us 200 bits?
Oh, Chuck gave you 200 bits? Damn it, I have to give you something. But that's to slap Jeremy with a tentacle. I'll give him that. You got it, Chuck. No, I'll tell you what. I'll let you start with 2 momentum. So momentum, we'll talk about that. I think you can only have a maximum of 6 momentum at any time, and you lose 1 momentum at the end of every scene. So when we shift from scenes, it's always going to tick down. So it encourages you to spend that momentum, and it's a group momentum that you have. So everybody kind of picks from that pool. So you can see if it's sitting there, and you know you're going into another scene, and you're sitting at maximum, you know you're going to tick down to that 5. You might as well use it for something before it goes away. Use it before you lose it. So I'll let you start with 2 momentum. We'll kick off the game with 2 momentum that Chuck bought you. And I still get to slap you with the tentacle.
Oh, I'm so excited.
What else we got in the chat here? That's it? Tentacles? Okay. Cool. I got Sirenscape set up. I don't know if you're all in there, but we'll play some sounds in Sirenscape. Let's get this going. See how the volume is. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So it is February of 1941. Currently. And you are all members of Section M. On a cold February morning, you have been contacted and told to gather whatever personal effects you may need for a trip abroad. Each of you are collected by car and driven at speed to Biggin Hill Airfield, where you are met by an anxious-looking man by the name of Archibald Strang, aka Hunter. He is your handler. As your cars pull up at the airfield, Hunter greets all of you and invites you into a small, dilapidated hangar on the outskirts of the airfield. You make your way there. The hangar itself is full of crates, spare airplane parts, and other junk scattered around, but there has been an area that's been cleared to contain a table, chairs, and 2 large boards containing maps of Europe, marked with many pins and notes all over it. He welcomes you all in. Have a seat. Have a seat. Can I get you a cup of tea?
Hey, Archie there, you got any coffee?
It's Hunter.
Hunter. Yeah, okay. Hunter, you got any coffee?
We have tea.
Yeah,
Will that do?
I'll pass. I don't drink the dirty water.
Kind of looks down his nose at you and looks to the others.
I would like two, please. Two, please. Yes, please.
Two teas? Oh, okay.
Give him mine too. Fill him up.
Sure, there's a low-ranking officer there, a young boy, and he kind of like shoos him away to go prepare the teas for all of you, and he tells, "Please have a seat. Have a seat. I apologize for the urgency of the summons, but this is quite important, quite urgent." And he starts walking around. He hands out photographs to each of you. The photograph shows a large airship in various stages of launch, and one of a burning wreck crashing to the ground. He says, Zeppelins. According to some people, they were going to be the future of air travel. Massive great balloons that could sail through the skies, taking people across oceans and continents in luxury. However, when the Hindenburg went down in a great ball of flame in 1937, those in charge rather lost their taste for them, and the remaining vessels were scrapped. Or so we thought. I received this yesterday from a trusted source. Pulls out another photograph and just kind of tosses it to the group of you. I don't know, one of you catches it as it flies your way. It's blurry and taken in low light, poor light, but it shows a Zeppelin, the distinct silhouette of a Zeppelin against a dark sky. You look at it and the details they're difficult to make out, but it looks like there's several like glowing studs or lights along the length of the balloon, and a faint web of light all around and along it. You can't really make out what this is, but this isn't typical for any Zeppelin you've seen.
Hey, Hunter, that looks like they're using some kind of electrical technology there on that. Similar to some of the works we've been doing over with Majestic. What do you know about this?
Well, now you're catching on. Well, we believe the Notched Wolf have got their hands on a scrapped Zeppelin, and they're using them for God knows what. That's where you come in. You need to get in there, and you need to find out what the hell is going on. You're going, well, not necessarily enemy lines. The weird thing is, this picture was taken in Romania. He turns around, he takes the pipe out of his mouth, he starts like poking at a map of Europe and pointing at Romania. Romania. Now, the Germans have not invaded Romania yet. They've set up some airfields around the area, but they haven't gone in there at this point. We think they're going to be launching an attack against Greece from those airfields, but nothing concrete yet. So it's strange that this has popped up in their borders.
Do you know which one of the Notch Wolf honchos is leading that project?
No, that's up to you to find out. Like I said, this picture is days old, if that. This is the highest priority.
Are we doing tech recovery here? Are we doing tech elimination? What's the mission, Hunter?
I'll tell you what. Your mission is to gather any and all intelligence you can about that thing, get aboard the Zeppelin, find out what they're doing, disable it, destroy it, or best case, commandeer it and bring it back here to us. I leave that to you.
I gotta say, stealing a Zeppelin, that sounds thrilling.
You know, I can't say that I've ever flown a Zeppelin before, but I'm not too bad of a pilot.
Did you hear that, Gregor? If we go in Zeppelin, you shall be flying squirrel. It'd be very good. And I'll be giving it some of the tea from the second cup. Yes, get good drink. Stay warm.
What was that?
This is Gregor.
Now, that's a good question. Have we worked together before?
No, I'm gonna say maybe this is the first meeting of all of these strange characters in this airfield hangar together. By the way, thank you for the raid, Lords and Ladies of Fate. Welcome. We're playing Achtung, Cthulhu. Thank you for joining us.
Well, so normally I go in with a team of specialists. It looks like I don't know how to describe what we've got here. Hunter, care to explain why we're not using normal military resources?
It's a sensitive operation. It calls for certain specialties, and that's why we've gathered the group of you. There's one more you'll be meeting once you're over there, a Frenchman by the name of Henri. He'll make contact when you're back behind lines in Romania and figure out what's going on. He's already there.
Well, all right then. I'm Captain Harry Hammer. You can call me Harry. You can call me Hammer. You can call me Captain Hammer. They threw these bars on me when I joined the army. I'm just a scientist. Just here to do my duty to president and country and, play with a lightning gun.
You got a lightning gun.
But yeah, that's my specialty. I'm a special weapons expert. I expect that's why they got me on this mission, because clearly the Zeppelin's got something going on.
All right. I'm here to do pretty much exactly what it looks like I'm here to do.
Kick ass and take names. Is that it, Sergeant?
Pretty much. I don't usually ask for names, though. I've been told I'm not incredibly social.
That's fair. That's fair. Well, good to have another military person.
Yeah, I'm glad you're here, Cap. And also, Furball there. Hello, ma'am.
Ruby, like, she'll wave, and it's like almost like she kind of disappears. She comes in the next moment you see her, she's standing there with a cup of hot water with a lemon in it. Well, I'm Lieutenant McKay, I suppose, for representing Her Majesty's Royal British Army. Yeah, I suppose we should, I don't know, get going. This seems like it is a very important mission, and enough of this diddle-daddling around.
Sounds good to me, Lieutenant. What's the score, Hunter? How are we getting to Romania?
You'll be taking plane. It's waiting for you on the tarmac, and it'll be leaving in a few moments. Details on the location before you get going. You're also anxious, which I like to see, but you need to know where you're headed. The last reliable report we have is that this is somewhere, the Zeppelin is somewhere in the foothills of Mirs Mountains in Transylvania, near the village of Zeltan. Now, like I said, we do know that the Germans have forces in Romania, but as far as I'm aware, they're mostly around the borders. The terrain in the mountains is entirely unsuitable for an airfield, which they've been building around these surrounding areas, so we don't know what they're doing there, if it's not building an airfield. And this is, God knows, way too far away from anywhere suitable for that. It's about as close to the middle as nowhere as you can get. So, I need you to get out there. You gotta poke around and see what they're up to. Talk to the locals. Speak to any indentured workers. Gather every bit of intelligence you can. Is that clear?
That's clear, Hunter. So, we landing or we jumping?
You're landing. One of our men are going to take you to Belgrade, into Yugoslavia via Greece. Once you're there, you're going to be met at the airport by a man by the name of Grigori. He's a smuggler working for Section M, who will help you get across the border and into Romania. Now, relations have become diplomatically difficult with Romania. So, I advise you to remain covert. Equipment and papers are waiting for you on the plane, and I suggest you take your time to familiarize yourselves with them when you get on board. I know it's short notice, and I know you'll be on your own out there, but we need to know what this thing can do and what the Notchwolf are doing with it. Wheels are up in 20 minutes, so you've got time to finish your tea at least, and good luck. And he kind of turns around and he goes back to the papers and he kind of finishes something up that he was working on before the four of you came in, and then he just exits, leaving the four of you kind of sitting there looking at one another. The young soldier has returned in the meantime with your 3 teas. Pavel?
Well, I only need the 2. One for me and one for Gregor. It is fine. The third, please, one of the Yankee Doodles can take it.
Fine. I'll just dump it out, reach into the pocket, pull out a flask, and fill it up.
2 inches long.
My hot water is just fine, thank you very much. Officer, what's your name? To the gentleman who's serving us tea.
Oh, he's kind of shy. My name is Rogers.
Rogers, fantastic. And she kind of straightens out his collar and whatnot. Well, Rogers, I just wanted to say thank you so very much. You've been a delight. Goes back here.
You're welcome, ma'am. And he looks like he's probably not even 18. Looks like he's probably signed up, maybe lied about his age. This is a teenage boy. So he's kind of like sheepish, and he kind of pulls away, and he's kind of embarrassed, and he kind of slinks into the shadows after that and exits the hangar.
So, Lieutenant, sorry, I didn't get your specialty. I got an idea. I know what Pavel here. He says he's a linguist and a weird guy, and the sergeant here is obviously a knuckle dragon, force to be reckoned with. But what do you bring to the team?
Well, I'm a nurse. I figured that we're going undercover and so forth. Besides, it's never a bad thing to have a little bit of legs on the case.
That is a fact, Lieutenant. That is a fact. Glad to have you aboard.
Well, thank you very much. Do any of you guys you guys heard who or where we're headed, correct? And
Yes. The Transylvania, wonderful place. Very, very underrated. Yes, I've been everywhere in Europe. We'll be fine. I have friends in every mountain hole and every pub and tavern. It will be wonderful. I will introduce you to people. We will have grand old time and punch Nazis and steal Zeppelins and whatever else we're supposed to do.
Now you're talking.
You cut to a bar in Transylvania. There's a picture of Pavel behind the counter saying, "Don't serve this man."
And it's got Gregor the Marmot too.
Don't serve this marmot with a smaller picture.
Don't serve this marmot. There's like a reward.
Wanted.
All right.
I look forward to meeting your friends, my good sir.
I'll give the team fair warning, like above board, due to some of the stuff I have. Like Morris is like visibly weird, so don't let him do the talking, or I'll make all social interactions a step more difficult.
So do not worry. I am very friendly. People find me just a delightful person to talk to. I know all the languages, like 4 or 5. That's all there is, I think. So it should be wonderful.
I always thought those two. There's English and gibberish, so good on you.
Gibberish. I do not know that one. That one sounds interesting.
Hammer pulls out this weirdly designed trench knife, and he takes out a set of tools and he starts working on it. And every once in a while, under his breath, he curses as he shocks himself while he's trying to work on the electrical capacitors, and it kills him. He's like, "Let's just go."
You have my attention. I come and I sit beside you, and oh gosh, can I touch your knife?
Sure. Hold on. He disengages a couple of the wires. He goes, "Here you go."
Oh, that wasn't necessary. And she grabs it and hands it back.
You know your way around, a pig sticker. I like it. I'm not that good of a knife fighter myself. I'm better with a rifle, but they wanted me to try out this electrified knife. Still tinkering with it, though. It's still shocking me when I'm holding the graph. As soon as my palm starts to sweat, I got to work on that. But yeah, work in progress.
Well, either way, it looks delightful. Perhaps try a leather glove. And she walks away.
That's thinking. I like that.
All right, shall we exit the to the airfield? All right, you leave the hangar, and out on the tarmac is a plane. Is a Haviland Albatross DH-91. You see the name Fortuna on the nose of the plane, and it bears the British Overseas Airways Corporation logo. Hunter comes over to you and introduces you to the pilot. His name is William Frout. He says, "This is the man who will be getting you there. If you have any questions about the flight or the journey, feel free to ask him." William comes over, introduces himself to the group. He says, "Expect a journey about 10 hours plus time on the ground at Lisbon and Athens, where you're not going to be disembarking at either of those destinations. But the landings need to take place to maintain cover as a passenger service plane."
That works for me, William. Works for me.
All right, there's gear in the back, and like Hunter said, your papers are waiting for you inside as well. If there's no other questions, then get aboard and let's get this get to the sky.
Hammer just gets on the plane.
All right, let's board this plane. Let's see what this sounds like.
Pavel will have a conversation with Gregor for, do you need to go? If you need to go now, he said 10 hours. If you need to go, now is the time. Okay, I'm listening. I'm trusting you this time. Okay. And then I'll board the plane.
All right, board the plane. You all get on the plane. The props fire up. Hunter goes to the side of the tarmac, kind of watches you as the plane turns, and watches and solemn as you start to gain speed and head down the tarmac and make your way up in the air. I don't know why my airplane sound isn't playing, but come on. There we go. In the air, you start to take stock of the gear that was provided to you. So this is in addition to any weapons that you would have taken along or belongings that you may have had with you. There's a rucksack for each of you, and looking through it, it looks like it contains a sleeping bag, rations for 3 days, a mess tin, and other basic survival equipment. Warm civilian clothing, suitable for the area, including a heavy overcoat, as it is February and you're going to the mountains in Romania/Transylvania. It's going to get cold. A 1 Minox Riga sub-miniature camera and spare film. 1 regular camera with an extended lens. 1 pair of binoculars. 2 demolition kits. Sure, I got some of you excited. A package containing Romanian identification papers for each agent and Yugoslavian and Romanian currency. And a package containing diplomatic papers required for entry into Yugoslavia at Belgrade Airport under each of your names. So you're going full stealth here. This is why we need someone who can speak languages. So the flight, it's pretty bumpy, but uneventful otherwise. You land in Belgrade at approximately midnight. You look through the little circular windows, and the airfield is poorly lit, and only 2 main runways are fully tarmacked. Hangars ring the landing fields, and the Fortuna taxis towards one before stopping with the exit ramp facing the hangar, concealing it from just casual view, the way it was set up, the way he came in. You grab your gear, you head down the stairs, and you make your way out onto the runway. Beside the hangar stands a short, dark-haired man with a big, wide grin, smoking a cigar, standing next to a decrepit-looking lorry. As you all disembark, he waddles over. He's kind of a heavy-set man. "I'm Grigori. I suggest you stow your belongings in my truck as quickly as possible before presenting yourselves at the arrival office. You must show your papers before we can continue on."
Well, thank you, Grigori. We will do exactly that. You are very kind to let us use your truck. Very kind. Grigori, this is Gregor. I know that will be confusing to people. Just remember, human has the Grigori at the end, in Marmot has Gregor, no E at the end. But don't worry.
Oh, very good. You have Marmot?
Yes. Do you not?
No, very unusual, but no problem. No problem.
Oh, good. I am glad. No problem. Okay.
Harry just shakes his head. Stows his gear. He's like, "We're gonna die. That's okay."
No. No one's going to die. No, we're all going to be just fine.
Die under Grigori watch. I take care of you. It's no problem.
Yeah. No problem. Very inconspicuous.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking. I looked at you in that marmot and I thought to myself, inconspicuous, of course.
We're going to mountains of Transylvania. This is what most people who want the mountains of Transylvania look like. They have, things on back.
Then I'm glad that we got you here because we need an expert. Because I would have never guessed. That everybody in Transylvania had marmots on their shoulders.
Yeah, if you want, you can like kind of make like an insight or observation test. Let's make our first test: insight and observation. With Pavel saying that this is what people look like here in mountains of Transylvania. Let's get some momentum going. Let's get some rolls. Let's see how this works.
Right.
Okay, this is
academic.
Now I've got a focus and instincts, which get kind of.
Yes, use that then. Yes, go ahead and use instincts.
And I'm going to give you a point of threat to get a third dice.
Thank you. I will take
one success.
Threat. One success. Okay. Anybody else rolling? Anybody else want to do anything? You look over at Gregor and he's a little concerned by what Pavel's saying when especially he says this is what people look like here. Gregor is a local and he looks nothing like this and he looks very doubtful at what Pavel's saying, but he's not challenging him in any way. But he's like about to say something. He takes the cigar out of his mouth and opens his mouth and he stops. And he knows his place here.
Hey, Pavel, can you teach me to say, I've got a stomach bug, as you look like it, the incredibly pale skin and like reddish eyes that don't at all look like he's from here.
Yeah, yes, you'll say Shishulka, the Mishishulka.
Yeah, okay, Mishishulka.
Yes, I know. Quiet.
Right, I'll remember that.
Amber turns to Gregor and he goes, "This guy's going to get me killed, isn't he? I mean, you can be honest with me."
Yeah, Gregory goes, I do not know your chances. You are trained soldiers. I know that is not my place. I will wait for you outside with truck. All of your belongings are packed. You need to now go in passport control and present papers.
And this office is inside, right?
Yeah, so this is in the airport. So you need to go through this to leave the airport.
Well, then let's go, gang.
After you, Lieutenant.
I'm assuming you've all put on your civvies that were provided?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. You got changed
so,
while you're on the plane.
So no captain anymore. I'm just Harry. Just call me Harry.
All right. So it's late. Like I said, it's approximately midnight. You go into this tiny little box of an office. There's one single tired-looking worker behind the desk. When you open the door to enter, the rush of cold air and the sound of you entering kind of jolts him awake and up, and he sits up and he holds out his hand for your papers. Knowing full well that your plane came on a British Overseas Airways Corporation plane, he doesn't even try to speak the local language to you, just assuming that you're all English. So he holds out his hand for your papers.
Turn him over.
He looks at yours. He barely glances at it. Like I said, you probably woke this guy up. He glances, hands it back, waves it through. Holds out his hand for the next one.
I'll pass mine. Yeah.
Same thing. Just kind of like move along. Just he wants to go back to his nap, it looks like. So
let him.
All right.
All right. So he looks at all your papers, waves you all through without an issue. The group of you exit the passport port control office, and you're now in the streets of Belgrade. As you exit the office. You can hear a horn honking, and Grigori is across the street in a lorry waving at you, with hanging out of the cab, and the engine is running. He goes, all aboard, no problem, no problem. Two up front, everyone else in back, no problem. Welcome to Belgrade, with a big wide grin on his face.
Hey, Pavel, maybe you should be up front in case somebody needs to do some talking, because I don't speak the lingo.
Okay, Harry. Whatever you say, I shall sit up front. Yes.
Oh, very good. He kind of leans to you. He goes, why you put strange one up front with me?
Hey, better you than me.
Please leave Rodent in back with others.
No. He must come with me. It is like, dude, you leave like your right arm.
Is it going to poop
Gregor
all
is
over
like,
my
it's
truck?
like appendage.
Is it going
He's not going to poop. He's got basket. If he poops, it goes into the basket. It'll be
Okay,
fine.
I'll be watching. If it poops in my cab, it goes in back.
You're going to watch it, see if it poops?
Yeah.
If there's
He already
any
did his business. Yeah.
if there's any poop in cab, you go in back with Rodent.
Is that true for like anyone in here? Like no one can poop, or are you just
No
singling out the
No
mom?
poop in
Okay,
cab.
no poop, fine, no poop. Okay, jeez, okay. This apparently he does not like pooping.
Harry leans over to Grigori. I'm sorry, man. I don't know. I didn't know what I was doing to you.
This is the first leg of journey. Maybe for a longer portion, you can sit up here with me.
Yeah, we'll rotate.
All right, so Pavel, you're sitting in the front. Who else is sitting in the front? There's room for two up there with Grigori.
Yes, come join. We talk. We sing.
up
We
front.
sing.
Ruby's
Yes.
up front also. Okay, very good. You get in the truck and you start to drive through the dark streets of Belgrade before finally pulling in to a large brick warehouse. The truck comes to a stop there, and Grigori turns off the engine and hops out, and he says, we will not be able to cross border until morning, when it is busiest between 7 and 9 a.m. There are beds set up for you here, near Bacco warehouse. I'll be back at 5 a.m. to load up. Get a good night rest.
Was that? Did we know any of that? Like, was that part of like our briefing?
That was not outlined in your briefing.
Why we cannot go now? What's wrong with why wait for tomorrow?
We want to wait to where we cannot gain suspicion, no? When it's busy and they wave the most trucks through to get the queue down.
Okay, if that is what you want. I just, I know the American saying. What is it? You do not eat a hamburger today that you can eat Tuesday or something?
What is hamburger?
I don't know. Something, they put it on bread. It's very confusing. Anyway.
It's a damn tasty meal. What do you mean?
It's a thick sandwich, to be honest.
I tell you what. You know what, Pavel, you make a good point though. We'll set up a watch, rotating watch. We'll make sure that everything stays secure in the safe house.
All right. He says, if there's anything you need before we go on long-legged journey, just let me know and I'll get it tonight for you. Is there anything you require?
If you can smuggle in some coffee, that would be spectacular.
Oh, no problem. I get you coffee.
Thank you. As well, is there anybody else here? Like, do you?
No, it is. The warehouse is empty. Like, there's no crates. There's no nothing. It's a big empty warehouse. And you look at the rear. There's just like there's cots. There's military cots set up for you.
So say we're sleeping and 3:00 in the morning and somebody knocks on the door. What do we do?
You don't answer.
Do you have a partner or anything in case like something happens to yourself? What's our contingency here?
Just Grigori.
So
So
anybody other than Grigori?
Yes.
But quietly. We gotta do that quietly.
Yes, inconspicuous. Yes. No, we must, yeah, absolutely.
You-
Yes. If someone knocks on door, don't worry. I will talk us out. I'm very good. Gift of gab, I hear they call it.
You can trust me. We work for same people.
oh, for the love of Pete, she throws her hands up in the air and walks back to the cots.
Pavel looks over towards Harry. He's like, "Who is Pete? Are you Pete?" No, you are Harry. No, who is Pete?
Yeah, Pavel, you don't gotta worry about that. Pete, it's just a saying, just a saying.
I heard it's like the prime minister where she's from. She really loves him.
Okay. That's good. That's
Real
good to like
patriot.
your national leaders. That's excellent. I don't know what that is like, but okay.
So just coffee. That is all I fetch for you.
I don't know about the rest of them, but I'm pretty well kitted out right here. So
All right. I get you coffee.
Could you get some nuts, some nuts and some dried fruit, perhaps? You know.
Yes, I could get you nuts and dried fruit.
Oh, well, excellent, Grigori. You are just a good friend. Good friend.
Thank you, Pavel. You are a strange man when I first met you, but you might be okay.
I am still strange. It's okay. It's okay.
If that is all, it is late. I will go get you your things, and I'll be back at 5 in the morning. And he leaves through a side door. Lock the door behind me.
Is there like an insight check thing in this game? Something to sort of discern if he was being like kind of on the up and up during that whole thing?
Yes.
probably insight
Because Gregor was
observation.
acting crazy.
Yeah,
you know?
I was gonna say insight observation is exactly it. If you have any specialties like instincts, that would also that would apply here.
Yeah, I don't know any focuses.
All right.
Focuses, thank you. Foci.
So can I burn that momentum to get a third one?
Sure.
Yeah, do it.
Oh, you have 2. I took one away thinking the scene was over, so you actually have 2 because I have to remember to take him away off the scene.
What's the difficulty on this? Like, what would the
Difficulty will be
difficulty-
it'll be a 1.
Okay, so I'll burn one of the momentum. And how do you add the extra die? Just hit on like the 3. Just click the like on the pop up when it pops up. Just click 3.
Just click the 3.
Okay,
It's a pretty
insight.
well designed module.
Yes, it's very
Ooh,
well
nice.
It's very
Got
well
two-
designed.
two
No
successes. I
problem.
am
No
like-
problem. Let's make this work.
I can read people like I read books, you know, start to finish, from the back of the book to the. I get the
Slowly.
end first. Yes, yeah. So yeah, 2. I'm just trying to see if
2
he's like on
successes.
the up and up.
Yeah, so you only need
and-
1, so that's another momentum back into the pool. So you got the momentum
Yes.
back that you spent. And yeah, he seemed genuine. Like he seemed very relaxed. He was able to answer your questions. He was very knowledgeable. You were told by a hunter about this man, about this Grigori, that he'd be waiting for you. So he seems trustworthy. You don't.
What about
You're not suspicious.
like pushing him for the like like why don't we go now as opposed to tomorrow? Does that seem
You
genuine
can.
as well?
You can spend that momentum you generated to obtain information and ask one question about the situation, environment, or character, and the GM has to give you an answer, not necessarily the complete.
Do you want to
answer,
spend that
but a
momentum?
truthful answer.
So that's in addition to me already learning that he seemed like a genuine guy.
Yes.
So I can
Yeah.
ask like
A specific question about.
Does it
the
have to be
situation.
about him or just the situation?
situation, him,
Okay.
the environment we're in, anything related
So yeah,
to it?
is there anything about this warehouse that we're in that that seems like could be a danger to us? Like is there anything about where we're staying, where he's put us up that we it could kind of backfire on us in some way?
So going through the streets of Belgrade, he did take you to a very secluded area where there was little to no activity happening. So as far as you could tell, this is like you shouldn't be bothered. There's no military patrols nearby. There was no presence of Romanian soldiers, which is, as far as you know, are the only ones in here. Because like I said, the Germans the Nazis haven't invaded Romania yet. It is Nazi-free as far as you know, and that's why this is so strange. So you didn't see any Romanian soldiers. You didn't see police or anything in here. It looks like, at a glance, it looks like kind of like the perfect place to lay low for the night. For a bunch of like people who have smuggled in and are kind of like spies and trying to get information.
We should rest easy. Grigori seems very capable, like brother from other mother. Very good, very good.
Harry looks at Pavel. He's like, "Yeah, you're definitely getting me killed." But okay,
I mean, I might do that. There are things I do. I'm a master of elements and controller of the winds. I could probably accidentally kill you, but that is fine.
I
Have good night.
I've seen a lot of hoodoo and a lot of weird shit since I joined Majestic. So I'm not going to discount what you're saying there, but let's just stick to the same side here.
Oh yes, of course. We on the same side. Of course, we all friends. Excellent.
And so Harry, while he's not on watch, is working on the ablative lining to his jacket, which is his prototype talent.
Oh, okay. Let me ask you this: is anybody not sleeping tonight?
No, everybody's sleeping.
Okay, everybody's going to take a shift.
Watch, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
sounds good. Good to know. Because if you didn't sleep, you're going to get some fatigue. That's why I asked. All right, but everybody's sleeping. You answered correctly. What fatigue does? Hey, so here's a new rule. We're learning this game. Fatigue, marks off one of your points of stress. Like you lose a stress. So you don't want fatigue. So you do your various things throughout the evening. You get some rest the best you can. It is a quiet night. At 5 the next morning, the side door opens. Grigori enters. He's whistling. He's smoking a cigar again. You can smell his cigar smoke as he enters. The cold air blows in behind him. And good morning. We go now before it is too late. I bring what you asked for. I have coffee, I have nuts, and I have fruits, dried fruits as well.
Very good. You are so reliable, Grigori.
He hands you a large bag, and it's like warm to the touch, and you open it up, and inside are warm bread rolls. And he takes one out and takes a bite, and you see it's filled with bacon. He goes, "It's some breakfast for the road."
Harry's hands immediately drop into that sack. He's like, "Grigori, you've become my best friend."
Very good, very good.
Any man who brings me bacon is my best friend.
Oh, you are easy to please.
Yes, I am.
Now, I suggest you conceal any weapons, explosives, and other suspicious items aboard Glory. We will be searched most likely from time to time, so be prepared for that. We must hide everything. So, the way this is going to work is, everybody gets to make an insight plus observation test with the difficulty of 0, and the number of successes you all generate is going to be the difficulty that the NPCs who may look in the back of that truck need to achieve, the number of successes they need to achieve to find your items. So this is kind of like a group thing, difficulty 0, but it's going to set the difficulty for any NPCs to find the stuff that you're stowing in there.
That's cool.
Yeah, I thought it was a neat mechanic.
I like it. Insight observation.
Insight observation for this. You have no more momentum. It's the next morning, so I took it away. It's a new scene, if you will. So if you want, you can give me threat to buy some momentum for this.
Well, let's...
Oh, critical success. Oh,
that's 2 successes.
Woo. All right.
I've been practicing Misha Shuka.
So we've got 3 successes right now. I will give you a point of threat to give myself a 3rd dice.
Ooh, what am I going to do with those threat?
I only rolled 1, pardon me.
2 successes.
You only rolled 1 d6. What'd you click on? It should automatically that's weird.
Oh, I know it automatically went to 2. I corrected it. So mulligan.
Did you you re-rolled? Okay. Okay. So you got 5 successes. Woo, that's good. So you hide this stuff in there well. So that, yeah, like I said, when someone goes to search in here, if you get stopped or anything like that, difficulty target number is 5 to find the things that you've stashed away in there.
Nice.
Whew. All right. I like that. So just like last night, there's room for 2 in the cab up front, and everyone else is going to have to hide or sit in the rear. You're not hiding. There is a bench back there that you sat on last night. It's a rough wooden bench. It's attached to the frame along the passenger side. The truck itself is loaded, like when you're putting everything in there, you see what he's already got in the back of the truck. It's loaded with vehicle parts, tires, and assorted junk in large open wooden crates. And they're all kind of secured with ropes and rings to the side so they don't fall out everywhere as you guys are driving up into the mountains. And Grigori says, if we're challenged, we are scrap metal merchants on way back from collection. You are migrant workers returning home, and I am giving you ride. Capiche?
Yes,
Sound.
should we work out, specific names and backstories and interconnection in case they look into it more deeply?
Make
Like
sure-
maybe Harry is my sister's boyfriend, and they might be getting married later, and so he's working extra shifts to ensure that he has proper money for the family starting.
I suggest you use names of what is on identification. Don't come up with any funny names that contradict.
Oh yes, what names were on the paperwork then?
Your names are on there. We'll just say your names, or if you have aliases that you've been using in the field, they're on there.
Sure, Pavel. Why
So
not? I'll marry your sister. I'm fine with that.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's great. She has been very lonely since she was kicked by mules, so she would be very excited.
Yeah, it happens. It happens. Trust me.
Oh, Lordy, sorry. She's gone cross-eyed since she was kicked by the mule. Lonely. Poor.
Another good kick, and she'll be right back to normal. I've seen it happen.
Oh, okay. Who's riding a cab with me? This is the long part now. Who wants to ride with me? And he looks at you,
of course,
Harry.
I will come up front. I am very good
Are
at
there any
speaking with people.
volunteers? He looks at Harry.
Yes, I volunteer.
Okay, Pavel. You know rule, though. You know rule about rodent.
Yes. None of us are allowed to shit in your truck. I understand.
That is correct. No shitting in cab. No shit rule.
I think probably Ruby ought to be up there too, because no offense, but you're a woman, and it'd look weird if you were in the back of the truck.
She's slightly speechless, and yeah. I'll sit up front.
I mean, no offense. Personally, I'd prefer to have you in the back with me, but people would look askance at that.
No, I understand, but I kind of go over to your ear. I'm like, but if things go oddly, like I feel like they're going to, we're switching.
That's a plan. That's only fair, Lieutenant. I mean, Ruby. That's only fair.
And I'm calling shotgun. You can sit in the middle.
Oh, yes, of course. I would much prefer to sit in the middle anyway. That means I get to right between both of you. So I can get your left here, his right here, or, his right there, your left here, whatever it. I don't know. It should be great. Wonderful.
Gregory looks visibly disappointed. Oh, okay, we go. He lights a cigar. He's got like he's putting on a grin. You can tell it's not real. Oh, we go now. So, you guys hit the road, and after an hour and a half of driving along a tarmacked but pretty poorly maintained road, Grigori turns the two of you in the cab and says, "We are approaching border. Be ready." And as you approach, there's a short line of traffic in front of you, and you can see ahead that there's two wooden shelters up ahead. A large shed with a large awning. It appears to be like an office sort of area. And it looks like there's also an awning roofed area, probably for inspections of vehicles. And Grigori joins up at the end of the queue. And all of a sudden, you look over Pavel and Ruby, and his face turns pale. Go ahead and make me an insight plus observation test. The difficulty is 1 to try and kind of read him in the situation.
Okay. Do we have that momentum there?
You do.
One.
Yep.
Never mind. Just difficulty of 1. I got it.
Let's put on some music here.
Nice.
Some sounds. Oh, that's too much. Howling werewolves and stuff.
You must be afraid because he hears this strange, very atmospheric music.
Let's
He's like,
put on
oh no, we are about to be attacked or something.
Let's put on the truck ride instead. There we go.
Now he's like, oh crap, my exhaust sounds strange. I'm going to have to pay for the carburetor.
All right, what do we get for successes? 2 successes for Jeff and 1 for
two, and
Megan.
Megan got 1, yeah.
Okay, so that extra one goes into your pool. You're gonna need it. I'm just kidding. Okay, so yeah, you look at him and he doesn't say anything to you, but you follow his gaze, and it reveals the source of his concern. You see that the border post is manned by 6 uniformed Romanian guards, 3 in each direction of travel. So there's roads coming in from either way, and they exit. But the thing that's really got his attention, there's 2 soldiers in German uniforms in the office, the little office building, sitting. You can see them through a window, sitting there.
That I assume was not expected, was it, Gregory?
No, I did not expect to see Nazis here. I don't know what they're doing in my homeland, and I don't like it.
Well, likely they will do that which they do everywhere else, which is, like ruin everything. But that is neither here nor there. The plan can still work, can it not?
It can. We just need to play our cards right, no? No
Yes,
problem.
we have to. As the Yankee Doodles would say, we have to play it cool. Yes.
Yeah. Yes. He looks over at
It's
Ruby.
okay.
He leans past Pavel, looks over at Ruby for because he assumes you're American. He doesn't know you're Canadian.
She doesn't say, and she doesn't correct the assumption either.
All right, so you've both seen that there are German soldiers there, in addition to the 6 Romanian guards.
It is okay. I can speak German very fluently. You will not even recognize me once I start speaking. You will think, oh my, he is also Nazi. And I'll be like, no, I am not. It was just me speaking different language.
I'm going to put my hand on your knee and just be like, Pavel, just wait until they come, if they come. All right?
Oh, of course. I'm not going to leave the truck to go talk to them. That would be something a crazy person would do.
Grigori seems just
Yes.
really fixated on this, and he starts kind of talking to himself, almost reassuring himself. He's talking like reasoning why they would be here. He's like, oh, they must have established new airfield close to border crossing. It's simply assign additional guards, standard procedure. And it's like he's reassuring himself, but he looks nervous by this.
That is very possible. Also, they could know about our mission and be looking for, undercover operatives crossing the border. That also could be a potential thing.
Pavel!
What? Oh, yes.
His mouth opens, his cigar almost falls out. He catches it and yes, you're very funny, Pavel.
I am just joshing you. Just keeping you cool.
Yes, okay. Maybe hide rodent. It might cause suspicion.
Wait, because a rodent is here now?
I don't know. I think out loud. I'm sorry.
Okay. Do you have glove compartment box? I shall put him.
No.
Gregor, will you go in glove compartment box? I know. I will give you extra nuts later. Yes, you can have some of the big, scary-looking man's booze. It's fine. He probably will be okay.
So you're sitting there.
I don't know. I have
And
a
you're-
feeling he's staring lasers in the back of my head right now.
So each vehicle pulls up to the barrier. 2 Romanian guards approach, one from either side. You're sitting there, you're watching this. You're sitting there, you're waiting in line and queue for your turn. You're watching the other vehicles. You're watching the procedure play out as you get closer and closer. So one goes to each side, and the guard on the driver's side holds out his hand to the driver. The driver hands over some documents, which are briefly examined. The guard hands them back before waving to a third guard at the barrier, who raises it up. And the inspecting guard, the one on the passenger side, waves the vehicle through. 2 cars and a motorbike pass through in this manner. Things are going as usual. More and more cars are piling up behind you. This is, like Grigori said, the busy time. So you can see that the soldiers are trying to get cars through as fast as possible. After the 2 cars and a motorbike pass through, you see a small farming truck pull up. And it seems to also get waved through. But then a new, black, beautiful town car pulls up. The 2 in the cab, go ahead and make me an insight observation. We've made a lot of these. But this is the nature of our adventure so far as secret agents and spies. Insight plus observation. This test is going to require two successes.
We still have those 2 momentum.
You do have those 2 momentum to spend.
And,
I'll
and you
burn
can
one of them.
And you can give me threat.
So here's a question. So I'm rolling insight or observation?
You're rolling insight and observation. So if you click on observation on your character sheet, you're going to pop up where it says agility. Just click on that and change that to insight. And then roll. So it'll take your numbers from the 2. Okay. So,
Nice.
Ruby, you don't pick up on anything, but Pavel, you're so observant. You're studying
Like
this.
hawk eyes, like marmot eyes, can see everything.
You notice that the person who hands the documents out the driver's side window, when the documents are opened by the guard, you notice that there's a couple of bills stuck in there, several folded notes, which the guard, he kind of looks around, takes it, slips in his pocket, hands back the papers to the man behind the wheel, and waves them on through, no questions asked.
We need money. Do you have money? Money. We need money. They are taking bribes. This is part of the process. We need money. Do you have money? Money.
Here. And
You were all given money, remember? That was part of your.
Pavel's not going to use his like a crazy. Not for this.
Is there like a window to the back of the van, or the back
No, I'm gonna say that there isn't. No. So you're kind of closed off.
Okay. fair enough.
He'll slide over the stack of like Ruby's money, and Pavel will put
Sure.
his own.
Grigori
as much,
kind of
but
looks. He's like, why you give me money? We work
Because-
we work for the same people.
it's not money for you. It's money for the people that getting the papers. Like it's it's greasing the wheels, you know.
Sucks back and says, "Oh, I like the way you think, Pavel. You are not bad as these some may think."
No, I am, and you probably will regret saying that at one point. I guarantee you.
He takes the folded bills and he stuffs them in the paperwork that he's got kind of sitting on the dash already for when he gets up there. And he goes, I like the way you think. The next vehicle that pulls up after that black town car is a open-topped wagon containing barrels of hay stacked too high. Upon presenting the papers, the guards, you can see him speak to the driver and starts pointing over to the inspection area. The wagon is driven under the awning, and at the side of the office where 2 more Romanian guards emerge from out of the office, and they climb into the back of the wagon and start just ransacking and searching it. Search continues. You start still moving your way up. Another car is waved through. 2 more motorbikes follow.
Hey, Matt.
Yeah.
Are the papers that we're handing over, do they have everyone's? Like, do they have both Morris and Hammer? Do they have their papers too? So is it the whole?
No,
The whole.
it doesn't.
Okay.
This is just like Grigori's like truck papers, like in his passport and everything for him, and you're gonna have to present your papers if asked. All of you will have to.
Okay. I will give the rest of the money that I didn't put in the first time
Into yours? Stuff it in yours?
Fine, okay.
All right. And so as you've been like watching this and observing, you've been watching these 2 German soldiers through the window, and they've just remained in the shelter the whole time, just kind of observing everything that's going on. They haven't intervened. They didn't take part in the search or anything like that. So the guard waves Grigori's lorry forward. It's finally your turn. And one approaches the driver's side of the cab, the other approaches the side. Grigori winds down his window. Hey, here's the papers, no problem. Hands them over. He speaks rapidly. Do you understand Romanian, Pavel?
No, I
Okay.
speak Hungarian, which is very similar. You know, we share borders, so
It's
so
true.
a few words get through.
So he's speaking rap, like you can tell he's nervous. And then he's speaking.
I will put hand on his thigh just to make him calm down.
He kind of kind of stiffens a little bit with that, and he looks at you and he points to the two of you, says something in Romanian, and points to the back of the truck and says something in Romanian, quickly and nervously. So the first guard then says something to the second guard, like across the truck to one another, all in Romanian. He hands his documents over. I'm assuming the rest of you hand your documents over.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the guard who was on the side comes around back and kind of flings open the cloth that's hanging down on the back and starts saying something Romanian. You have no idea what he's saying, and he's holding his hand out.
Hammer just assumes he's asking for the papers, so he hands his papers over.
Hand over your papers.
Same.
Samesies. So these guys can make a test. Bear with me here. To scrutinize your papers. Let's roll it for fun. I've got all this threat also. Oh, this could get interesting. The heck. I'll spend a threat. Scrutinizing your papers.
Ooh.
Holy crap. Holy crap. 3
Triple
successes.
summons.
Oh no. On the part of the GM. He's looking at them. He looks okay. He takes Pavel's, grabs, pockets the money, tosses it back. Looks at Ruby's, looks at the papers, looks up at Ruby, looks at the papers, looks up at Ruby. And you see him kind of thinking, and he keeps your papers, and he walks to the back of the truck. He doesn't give them back to you right away, like he did with Pavel's. And that's when he asks the two of you for your papers. You assume that's what he's asking for, and the two of you hand them over, and he studies them, and he looks at the pictures, and he looks at you, and he looks again at the pictures in the document, and he pockets the two of them also, and he walks around the front of the truck, and he starts talking to the other guard, the one who was talking to Grigori. And they're chatting away in Romanian, and Grigori kind of looks over at Pavel and Ruby, like nervously, like, yeah, no problem.
Everything's fine. Why are you worried? Stop looking worried. It's okay. My hand on your thigh. Everything's fine.
That's not good.
That is universal symbol for calm the fuck down, man. We need to calm down. There's Germans over there. What is wrong with you?
This is not making me any more comfortable.
It's not a very comfortable situation, but you'll need to fake it, you know? Don't worry. When the bullets start flying, we have two crazy Yankee
Fake it.
Doodles. They will mow everyone down.
Fake it till we make it.
Yes, there you go. Okay.
Perhaps we can produce more money?
Well, perhaps the ones in the back have some. There's no way for us to communicate back there, you said?
No, it's not open. There's no window.
I have a thought. Perhaps I could send Gregor back there with a dollar bill or a coin to send message.
Do you want to introduce some sort of truth? Do you want to introduce a truth or something into the scene here?
So, I think. Well, first of all, I think it's very clear that Gregor and I share we share our own language, which makes perfect sense. So I like to think that he is capable of delivering messages. Like, you know, he'll do what he sees. It's like a dog. He will do very simple commands. So my simple command is to take this coin and bring it back to the Yankee Doodles, and to hopefully they are smart enough to deduce what that means.
Do you want to introduce a truth that the two of you can communicate that way? Or is this pre-established? I don't...
Yeah, there's nothing that says I can actually talk to him. It's more of a, yes, let's introduce that. Yeah, I'll introduce that truth. Sure.
2 momentum?
So
I
a
get
momentum and a threat.
I get a threat? And
Yeah,
spend
momentum
that...
and a threat. If that's the case, then can I write them a note then, just to make sure it's not just a little note? Give them money. What's wrong with you, Yankee?
Sure. You write a little note. And you just kind of crack open...
Sincerely, Pavel.
Do you crack open Ruby's door and
Yes,
And Gregor
yes,
just kind of
yes.
hops out.
Yes, he knows what to do. He was very smart. He was top in his class.
Of what?
It's a long story. I could tell you now if you want, but there's more important things. Oh, everybody wants to talk about my history. We have things to do, Ruby. Come on, focus.
All right, so
Go, Gregor, go.
this marmot like scurries over your lap, Ruby, and I don't know. You crack the door open and it hops out. It seems to go undetected. Nobody sees this thing pop out. And you just open it just enough for it to hop out, and it goes underneath the truck. And the two of you sitting there back there are kind of like, oh, what's gonna happen? What's going on? And all of a sudden, this little like thing like leaps up into the back. And you're like, oh shit! And you look, and there's like a little rodent back there, and it's got a piece of paper in its mouth.
Oh, bad marmot. This is not a litter box. Now,
Morris, I think he's got something for us there. And Harry takes the note and reads it.
So the note says, "Hello, Yankee Doodles. There are Nazis here. Make sure to put money in bribe with your papers, or else we might get shoot. Please take care of Gregor. Sincerely, Pavel."
I gotta say, he's very polite. But Morris, let's try to bribe these guards. But I think we better be able to put our hands on our weapons pretty fast, because this may turn into a shit show immediately.
all right.
And then Harry will reach out around the outside of the truck and pound on the side of it to get the guards' attention.
Sure. Yeah. You do so, and bang. And so the three of you in the cab, you see the one that was talking to Grigori. He stays there, and the one that has all of your papers goes around back to the back of the truck. And he comes into view, and he looks displeased.
Harry reaches out his hand to shake his hand, and you can see that his money clip with his money is in the palm of his hand, and he goes out to shake the guard's hand.
He looks at like the car like directly behind you and kind of like steps into their field of vision and reaches out, shakes your hand, takes the billfold with money, and then turns and looks at you, Jonathan.
Scowls. Doesn't even do the courtesy of putting it in the palm of his hand. Just like a wad of money handed out blatantly.
Takes it. And then he looks kind of startled and points and says something in Romanian, and while pointing at the marmot in the back.
I reach down and pat him. Gregor.
He comes back around. He hands you back your papers. It comes back around, and he goes to the door, Ruby, that you're at, and he knocks on the door and hands you back your papers. And the two guards say something, and the one at the driver's side shouts to the one at the barricade, or the arm. It lifts, and you were waved through. And you're going, oh, that was very close. It was very tense, very tense. But quick thinking there, friends.
Harry lets Gregor crawl up into his lap and nap.
There you go. Perhaps those funds may have been useful later on if they hadn't have gotten 3 successes against you.
Yeah.
That was shitty. All right.
You handled it very well, Grigori. You are like Iceman, Nothing gets to you.
Please take
You're
hand
good
off
at
my
this.
thigh.
Oh, sorry. I don't know how that got there. Oh. So anyway, Ruby, Gregor, I found him in a school, if you can believe it, a kindergarten. They thought he was a human child. It was the most bizarre thing in the world. I don't know why they were doing this. It was in the Carpathians. I don't know. Small village. There was like 14 children, and like one of them very hairy.
What is emergency? No problem. We stop.
And
He pulls over. You're going onto like mountainous roads, so there's like a ledge on like your side of the truck, Ruby, and he starts and it's slippery, but he hits the brakes. You slip and slide a little bit, but he knows how to handle a vehicle, and he pulls over. And what is it? What's going on?
And I open up the door, fling it open, get out, and storm to the back of the truck. Bang, 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 bang.
Hey, Ruby, what's up?
It's your turn to go sit up front.
Oh, so Pavel broke you. Is that what I'm hearing?
I don't quite know how to take him just yet, but right now, I want to change seats.
That's fair. Morris is he's a hoot. You'll enjoy it back here. And Harry will go up with Gregor in his arms and get into the cab of the truck. Hey, Pavel, here's Gregor back.
It's good. Oh, it's good to see you, friend. You too, Harry. Yes.
Sure, Pavel. Sure.
Yes. I don't know what was wrong with Ruby. I mean, Grigori handled everything perfectly up here. She just, I don't know. Maybe the pressure got to her. I do not know. I don't know. Not sure.
Well, I just want to say thank you for sending Gregor back to us. That note made a tense situation much less tense. I was about ready to pull out the guns.
No, yes, sure. That could have been fun too, though, to be honest. We could, next time, on the way back, we'd pull the guns that time.
No, we would have all died. That's not a good idea.
He's very negative, Harry. You're going to have to deal with this. Very negative.
Please remove your hand from my inner thigh again.
Oh, how did that get there? Oh, jeez. It's very tight inside the cab.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, how bad, Ruby? Like 12?
How bad for what? The situation or our comrades?
I mean, column A, column B.
It was touch and go there for a while. It's how to say this politely. It's a shit show up front. However, we were able to get through with like paying off the guards and so forth. But we have no money now, so heaven help us at the next one.
Okay, great. All right.
Do you
Sorry.
do you play cards?
I mean, sure. I don't really like talking, but cards. I like cards.
Oh, I could use some solidarity with cards. And she pulls out a deck from the pocket in her coat and starts dealing. What do you play?
Whatever you want.
Excellent. And 5 cards stud.
All right. He proceeds to lose miserably over and over again.
So, you continue on. Grigori relaxes more, except for every time your hand slowly finds its way back to his thigh. But along the way, he makes small talk, and he outlines the rest of the way of the route. He says, we take main road as far as Diva, about 200 miles away, but from there, you will need to hike, as truck not suitable for tracks into mountains leading to Zeltna.
Hey, Grigori, are you going with us? Or are you going back with your truck, I assume?
I will go back with truck. This is my part. I do my part. No problem.
And I'm assuming that we have maps of the area that were given to us as part of our mission brief. So
you do have you have general maps of the area, but they're pretty out of date. This is where, and so they recommended talking with locals. That's where your up to date information is going to come from. Like you're going to the middle of nowhere, deep forests in the mountains. Like this wouldn't be a great place for an outpost for German soldiers because there's nothing here. Like it's just a strange place that you're headed to. He says, we will reach Diva by late afternoon. Probably too late to begin 20-mile hike to Zaltna. You have to spend night in Diva, most likely. The weather's cold. It's overcast as you guys continue on. There's little to no traffic on this road. Occasionally, you see the odd farm lorry carrying bales of hay or animal feed, but that's about it. After about, maybe an hour of driving, you see Grigori gets kind of nervous again. He kind of starts kind of muttering, and he gets visibly stressed, and he looks on his side mirror out the back and goes, there might be company coming. And he points behind you, and the two in the back, you can notice this, and And Harry, you've got another side mirror on your door. You see a German staff car behind you. Like, you see the flags and an eagle on the front. Like, it's got the... You can't really see the sides of the car, but it's got, like, the emblems on the hood, and there's 2 motorbikes on either side of it, coming up quite fast behind your truck. And
Grigori,
how do we handle this situation?
hey, if there's an area, just slow down, pull over, let them pass. And if they decide to stop for some reason, well, we commandeer their car after they have a tragic accident.
Oh, okay. I take your advice. And he starts to slow down, and he kind of pulls over, and the car is just speeding. Like, it is not breaking speed whatsoever, the 2 motorists beside it. And as it gets closer and closer to you guys, it goes to the side with the room that he's given, and just speeds past the group of you, like, with no interest whatsoever in the truck. And Grigori's, thank goodness. I was worried that those thugs and murderers were going to stop us and do something.
Yes, but should we not be worried about where they are going so quickly? That in itself seems concerning, does it not?
Well,
yes.
Pavel, I mean, that's definitely a problem, but it's not necessarily our problem. You know, we've got a mission.
Okay.
It makes me sick to see them in my homeland.
Well, we're working on it. It's like, just be patient. Be patient.
Oh, okay. I try. You guys continue on your journey, and it's pretty much uneventful. And you arrive in the picturesque town of Diva shortly after 5 p.m., just as the sun is beginning to go down. He goes, I will park Glory, and for night, just outside town on the other side. In morning, you come and begin hike to Zaltna. But I will keep watch for the night, okay? Just in case. No problem. Is that is understood? I will wait here for you while you continue to Zaltna. I will not go back. I don't like the presence of Germans here. This does not bode well.
I hear what you're saying, but you need to sleep too, brother. You need to make sure you get your rest.
I will sleep tomorrow after you have left on your journey.
You're very brave. We will not forget you. We would not have gotten this far if not for you and your quick thinking.
I appreciate it.
Have you organized a place for us to stay for the night? Like your warehouse back?
Unfortunately, I don't have contacts here. That is why we park on other side of village, out of way where someone won't see us, and we sleep in back of truck.
That makes more sense anyway. It might be chilly, but we'll get by.
Okay. Alright, so you guys set up for the night, you make some meals, you've got your rations, you've got your gear, you do your best to hunker down and sleep in this terrible cold.
We still we still maintain a watch though.
Yeah, oh yeah. I figured you would.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you sleep till the morning. Again, there's coffee brewing for you when you wake up. He doesn't have fresh bread filled with bacon, unfortunately, for you at this stretch of the journey. But he's sitting there. You guys, he's got a small fire that he's kind of warming up next to. And he lets you know, I will come to this very spot every morning at 6 a.m. and wait until sunrise, which occurs approximately 7:30. I will do this every evening from dusk until 5:30. You wait an hour, and I come here and I wait for you. Okay, so when you're done, whatever you do, I be here. So you count on me. Sunrise 6 a.m. for 1 hour, and sunset dusk for 1 hour, and I take you back.
Good man, Grigori. You're a good man.
All right. So it's a
Take
crisp.
some time to clock some obvious things to remember this place by.
Sure. It's a crisp, bright morning. You slept the best you could, and it's time to hike up a mountain trail to the old
Huzzah.
mining village of Zaltna. Grigori, I don't have much parting advice to you, but I wish you best of luck on mission, and I will see you soon.
Of course.
Thank you. And she reaches up and gives him a kiss on the cheek.
Oh, my. Yes. You can ride next to me on way back. Not strange, not strange, Pavel.
I'm standing right here. It's very rude. I'm just very. No, it's fine. It's okay.
No, he's probably talking about Hammer. Don't take it personal.
No, he was talking about me. He was very rude to me throughout it. I can say, be honest now, not to wear out of car. He was very dismissive and rude, but that's fine. I just made sure that, we didn't die because of things I noticed and made sure we made it. But that's fine. He could be dead because of me. Anyway, let us go.
I mean, clearly he was just intimidated by your presence. He felt emasculated.
You know?
No, that is not true.
No,
terrible
I
liar.
think Jonathan says very smart thing here. I mean, with a man with a face like that, he cannot be wrong about this. Yes, look at him.
As you squeeze his cheeks.
What did you dream about last night, Jonathan? Anything I should be aware of? Anything strange? Something
Actually-
with gummy bears, perhaps?
I haven't had any dreams for about a year. I don't dream. I just lay down, it's darkness, and then I get up.
Oh, well, that is not good at all. Oh, no. That is very bad. If you never... Oh, dear, I have so much work to do with you. Good thing we have plenty of time. We should walk together when we hike. I could talk to you. We could work through why you not go to the dreamland and why you do not dream. It's a very bad thing, Yes. You two walk together. Jonathan and I will walk in front. Jonathan, after you.
Just looks at Ruby. He's like, "You're welcome."
Harry will pull rear guard.
Okay.
And so we start.
And so we start. I'm setting up the mountain sounds.
Now, you see, Jonathan, next time we go to sleep, we should sleep right next to each other, like with our heads literally touching. And then what I can do is I can enter into your dream while you are dreaming. I can figure out exactly what particular creature is preventing you from having dreams. Because dreams are very important. It keeps you sane. If you don't have dreams, you might go crazy. And if you are crazy, people would not like you at all,
Nobody likes me at all, anyways. It's fine.
That's exactly my point. You see, you haven't been having dreams, so you're just a little bit off every morning.
Whatever. It keeps you
Okay,
warm.
good.
Keeps
That's
me
a
warm.
yes. Good. Yes, excellent. Yes.
All right.
We have fun.
You set out. Like I said, it's a bright, crisp, cold February morning. But you head out into the mountains. The path winds higher and higher into the mountains. It curves, spirals to match the terrain. It's cold. The ground is hard. It's unyielding. It's unforgiving. For sights, you see the occasional goat grazing on scrubland, birds circling overhead, making crowing noises, but you see no signs of people or civilization as you head out into the mountains. After roughly 5 or 6 hours of hiking, you can spot in the distance a small stone cottage as you round a corner. And you get a little closer, and you see there's a small village huddled behind a peak, like a clump, almost like mushrooms or toadstools at the base of a tree up ahead. Everybody make me an insight observation test, difficulty of 1. As you see this village in the distance. What do we got? Oh, you got a critical success? Holy
Mhm.
crap. Huh. All right. Let me
This
add
is
that.
like one of my worst skills, but somehow.
It's just like Alien.
Yeah.
Like Claymore, man. The DNA is alive.
All right, so you got a double success, and Pavel got a double success, so these are all carrying over. Excellent, excellent. Okay, very good. So to you, Ruby, it looks deserted. Like you see nothing. It's just a deserted mountain village. The rest of you, you look a little closer, and you see that each of the 10 or so small cottages, it appears they have gardens out in front, like maintained gardens. Like you can see something, like things are being grown there. So these are not desert. People are here either living or whatever in this area. As you get a closer, you can see that there are chickens and goats dotted about, kind of milling about as you get closer. So there are people here. How do you want to approach this? Do you want to kind of just go in? Like, how do you want to approach this village?
Hey, Pavel, you speak the local language. Maybe you should make our introductions.
Oh, yes, absolutely. I speak the language of the mountain. It should be fine. Let me just do some slight changes to the clothes. I will look like shepherd, and no, we will be like wandering shepherds. Lost our flock. Oh, yes, yes. And again, you will be going to marry my sister, and we need to find the flock. Don't worry, just follow my lead.
Harry looks down at his slung E-bar assault rifle, and he's like, "Yeah, shepherd. Yep, that's." I can do shepherd.
Don't show those. No. Normally we use
Are your weapons like
really old
wrapped up?
rifles and sticks.
No, he's got it. I mean, he would have it on a combat sling, under his coat to a certain extent.
Yeah.
But, you'd have to be able to pull it in case we came
Gotcha.
across anything. So,
Pavel literally is carrying like a shepherd's axe,
Oh,
like one of those
are you?
tall, thin ones. Yeah, like he is dressed. And he's got like like some kind of Hamburg type hat and like the vest and everything. He definitely he's a wandering guy. He goes from mountain to mountain.
Okay. Well, as you get closer,
yeah.
you see an old man like emerging from behind a shed at one of these cottages, and he kind of looks at you oddly. The group of you, the four of you. He looks like a local. He's dressed rather shabbily. He's kind of hunched over and looks like he's doing his chores, and he just kind of stops and looks at the four of you as you kind of walk past his little cottage.
I will wave. I will speak in I'll start in Hungarian.
Yeah.
I'll be like, hello, my friend. Hello. See if that gets any response from
He
him.
he doesn't really smile, but he just waves at you and watches, looks, and
He said hello.
he doesn't he doesn't say hello back. You're looking at the area, looking at the building or at the cottage, and you look at the other cottages nearby, and it looks like there's no weapons, there's no vehicles, there's no nothing. Like there's no signs of technology here or Germans, anything like that. Like just kind of like looking, you're just like, okay, this place at glance seems untouched. Like maybe we don't have anything to worry about here.
Yes, it seems like beautiful village.
Pavel, why don't you see if they know the way, if there's a better way to get to the Zoltan?
Yes. Hello, my friend. We look for Zoltan. Do you know how to get to the village of Zoltan?
I'll say it in Hungarian. Then I'll like try some Russian, some Hebrew. I'll go through all the languages that I have.
Just the whole gamut.
I'll speak in Marmot.
He'll understand the Hungarian, like, and he'll speak broken Hungarian to you, and he says he points to like the center of the village. And he goes, Darius, he help you.
Yes, there's someone in town who can help us. A man called Darius. He can help us. Yes. No, thank you, my friend. You are very helpful. Very much appreciate.
He holds his hand up in acknowledgement, and then like kind of hunched over, turns back around, and goes back to like putting seed down for his chickens.
Yes.
They're
Ruby, this is just like that village where I found Gregor. It's perfect. It's idyllic and wonderful. Perhaps we might find school child here that is rodent. It should be wonderful. Let's go find this Darius.
Sure, you guys head in. More and more people kind of appear. You see two elderly ladies are collecting firewood now in the area, and you enter the village, and people are watching, and eventually a grizzled, gray-haired, like a bear of a man emerges from a cottage door and approaches you, and he's got a friendly demeanor on his face, like a smile, and he comes over and he holds out a big meat hook of a hand to shake your hand. You're in the front, I'm assuming, Pavel, and he holds out his hand to you.
Oh, yes.
And
Natural-born leader.
And he speaks in Romanian.
I will speak in Hungarian to him. I really
he doesn't really understand, and then he switches to German. Agrees.
Oh, hey, yes, I know German. Perfect. Yes. My friend, hello.
Darius, good to meet you. What brings you to village?
Oh, it's a very long story. It involves my sister. She was kicked by a mule, but fortunately I have her fiance. But that is long story. We should not talk about. We have business. We're trying to get to village of Zoltan.
What are you going there for? Why you come through here? Where you go?
Oh, yes. That is a reasonable question to ask, and you are a reasonable man, so I shall give you a reasonable answer. It is because up in the village of Zoltan, we are going to get a very special gift for the wedding between my sister, kicked by mule, in her beautiful and lovely fiance, Harry. Harry, come here. Say hello to Darius.
There are no...
Sorry, I'll speak in English. Yes, come here.
There are no people in Zoltan. There are workers and there are Germans. Are you with the Germans that came through here recently? And he seems kind of like agitated by that.
Do I look like a German to you?
And he's got
speak
like a
German.
big...
Oh, so you speak German too? Just saying,
Harry looks at Pavel and he's like, "What are you getting us into here?"
Oh, no, it's great. This is great. I'll tell you later. It'll be wonderful.
None of you understand what's being said, but you can tell the two of them are communicating. He goes, I don't know you. You with those Germans that came through here before. Those are the only ones interested in Zoltan.
No. There are other people interested. Those who, want to stop the Germans from doing their hanky-panky, That's what we are here for.
Why don't you go ahead and make me an insight plus persuasion?
Insight plus persuasion.
Are you good at this?
Yes, I am fantastic at this.
Difficulty at 2. You have 2 momentum.
I will spend both of those momentum, please.
You actually would have to spend 3 momentum to get 2 dice.
Oh yeah. Isn't that 1
wait,
for 1 in this one?
Nope.
Oh yeah, that's right. He's right.
Oh.
Yeah.
1 for the first one, 2
Gotcha.
for the second one, 3 for the third one.
So 1
All right,
momentum you're gonna spend?
Yeah, I'll spend the 1.
Okay.
Or you could also spend both momentum and a threat and get the 2 extra dice.
I can always do like a. Can't you use something for a reroll too?
You can use
Is it
one of your
Fortune.
fortune
Yeah.
for a reroll.
Worst
Or you
case
can use a
scenario,
fortune to get an automatic crit.
Or I could just crash the
success.
roll like this in your face, Matthew.
He looks at you and he puts his hand in his beard and he kind of thinks. He goes, "All right,
I pull the tufts of my mustache.
you do not
we
seem
both
like-
have facial hair.
You have trustworthy face. You do not seem. I do not believe you are with the Germans. Please. Come into my home and we can talk. Warm up. It looks like you've been out in cold for a long time."
Yes. He says we can go inside. We can warm up, but we cannot shit inside his house. Though he's very, very specific for that. I don't know why. It's very confusing. Sorry about we have different rooting interest in local soccer teams.
Why?
Inside, go.
Where are you from that has to be like cleared every time you go someplace? What's
When
wrong
you are,
with you?
I travel very frequently in different mountains, and there's not many toilets, so it's confusing sometimes. When you get back in civilization, you have to click switch. Not always easy.
So Matt,
Yes.
Pavel, you definitely you terrify me. I just want
In-
it's got to be put out there. You're definitely a terrifying human being.
Yes, I know. Inconspicuous. Yes.
Sure, yeah, that's what I meant. Inconspicuous.
Yes.
Okay, so he brings you into his cottage. He welcomes you into his kitchen. He please take chair. Let me throw logs on fireplace, warm you up, and he makes you all a hot drink. It's not tea. It's not coffee. It's just like a mix of like things that they've picked out there. It's like a tea that they make of things that grow in the area.
This is special brew. If you drink it, you will have vision of who you will marry later in life.
That's all right. I already know I'm marrying your sister.
Oh, yeah, there he is. Oh, that makes me so happy.
Brother-in-law.
I have good brother-in-law. Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. Now, Darius, do you have school children here? Do you have like kindergarten or anything?
No, it's mostly old people, and all the young ones who are good workers were taken away by Germans not long ago.
Oh, that is not laughing matter. Way to bring the mood down. That's great. Darius said they took all the children up to the mining place. Did they work as like slaves or something?
Well, I don't know. They enter. So much has happened. Roughly 10 days ago, a huge ship or something appeared in the sky with glowing blue lights, and it passed over the mountains to the north. And 2 days after that, 8 German soldiers entered our village, gathering men and women of working age, and recruited them to work in the ruins of the old castle out near Zaltna, and claimed it was part of an archaeological dig. Most of the villagers, we don't believe that, but accepted the offer anyway. They promised good pay, and there's not much work out here. We are in the middle of nowhere. There are just 17 of us left, all elderly, and a few children.
Pavel, what's this fella telling us here?
I have no idea. He's just talking. Sorry, I really wanted to make a joke, but I just couldn't get through it. I will. He's speaking like gibberish that Jonathan talk about. No, yes, he said 10 days ago there was the great ship Zeppelin, I think probably is from his description, and then a few days later the Germans soldiers came here and they took all the young people to go work at castle up in mountains where we are going. It was something about archaeological dig or job, but Darius doesn't know.
Well, that's bad news for them, but good news for us. That means we're on the right trail.
Yes. Now, Darius, is there any more you could give us? Were they was it violent? Were there people? Did they say any other specifics?
It's not violent, but nobody's returned. People go, they not come back. There was one young man by the name of Eddie, and he declined, and he went to go investigate over at the castle, see what they're doing, and he has also failed to return. Perhaps you go to castle and find out where all of our young ones have gone and what they are doing with them.
Yes, I will. Yes. He wants us to go save their younglings. He says there was someone named Eddie who went up the hill to look for them too. He has not returned. He is very insistent that we go save the people of his village. He's being very pushy about it, but I think he's in the right, more or less speaking.
Tell him if he can help provide us a better map and a layout of the area and maybe some provisions, we'll see what we can do about shutting this German operation down, and then maybe his people will come back.
Okay. Hey, Darius, hey, you got one of those maps things of the locations? We need maps.
I'll
translate.
I could draw you a map to go there. Also, I know the castle can only be reached by foot, and I know of an old hunting trail I can point you towards, and maybe you can go there unnoticed. I make maps.
Darius guy is like the perfect guy for us to talk to. He has so much information. He's got like hunting trail we can take. It's going to be great. He's not going to take us. He's going to show us
Just-
because we're the heroes.
Just, yeah, but he kind of interrupts. He says, "But please, one thing. Don't bring war here to my village. Please, don't endanger any of us. Promise me that, and bring my people home."
Oh, no, no, no. Look at the faces of the friends I brought with it. Look at the Harry, look at the Ruby. Ignore that one. That's fine. He was kicked by a mule as well. It's very strange. Very coincidental. No, no, no. No. I mean, maybe, but preferably not. Probably. Things happen.
Oh, very good, very good. It is late. You cannot make the trek tonight, but you can stay in my home. You all have beds here, and you can stay with me, and you can have a good night's sleep before heading out.
He says we can stay and I can sleep head to head with Jonathan. Do you have more questions for our new friend?
Pavel, I have got nothing.
Pavel, can you directly translate for me?
Well, of course, I will do 100% perfect one-for-one translation.
I appreciate that. So I'll go and I'll sit beside Darius and I'll take his hand and I'll be like kind of point to Pavel and myself and then to him, indicating that he's gonna translate for me. Be like, thank you very much for letting us stay in your home.
It's great German.
Oh wait, no, it's German. It's
Yes,
German. I forgot
German.
we were doing German. I was like, I don't know what.
It's German.
A very interesting dialect there.
Sorry, I was clearing throat. Yeah, I was clearing throat.
Yeah, I will perfectly translate. Yes.
Sure.
This is my first time abroad, and to be honest, I am a little afraid. Is it possible to tell me a bedtime story? Tell me a story of your village and the castle and how everything came to be here. Only then I feel I'll be able to fall asleep.
He goes, Dude, are you translating that perfect one for one?
Yeah, I say at the very end, like if he's giving me a weird look, I'd be like,
No bullshit. She really said that. That wasn't me this time.
She's so pushy. He goes, perhaps we get Mother Miar here, and she's the oldest woman in the village and collector of stories. She can tell you tale of Castle. History of Castle is very interesting. But I don't know if you will get much sleep after that.
Well, Ruby, feel free to stay up and listen to stories, but I'm an old soldier and I know when it's time to hit the rack.
He says, I will get my friend. She lives in village, Irene, and she speaks some English. She can translate for mother to rest of you.
Oh no, that is not necessary. I can do it. No problem.
Mother,
we don't need to.
Mother only speaks Romanian.
Oh no, I can speak. Damn it! I should have picked Romanian. Why did I pick Russian?
The name of the adventure is the Romanian Imperative.
I forgot the name of the adventure. That would have been the perfect.
All right. We'll quickly run through this story and then we'll call it a session here. It's funny because there's like a huge page of like history on the castle, and you just asked for it, Megan. I didn't have to force it upon you.
Nice.
So he calls for his friend Irina, and she fetches this old mother, this frail old woman, heavily wrinkled face. She comes in, she's got like a thick layer of blankets around her, very elderly, and she sits down. She's nearly blind. She kind of like feels around when she comes in, and she sits down in the chair, and they bring her over like a warm drink as well, and she feels around for it, and she goes into the tale of the fall of Castle Pietra Alabastra. Bear with me as I read a lot. 300 years ago, this area was prosperous and happy. The people tended their flocks and mined silver from the ground. The local lords were just and fair. The old baron died, and his son became the new ruler. People say that he was a sorcerer who used magical stones to make himself powerful, and that he had killed his father to claim a treasure that was found beneath the castle. The new baron hired workers to dig a new mine directly below the castle itself. The people continued to tend to their flocks, to mine their silver, and life went on as normal. But as the years passed, the baron became cruel and selfish. The miners would speak of how he was always pushing them to dig deeper and deeper below the castle. But they found no silver, no gold, and they begged the baron to allow them to return to their own mines, where there was wealth to be found, but the baron refused. Then one day, a miner came staggering into the nearest village, clutching a handful of sapphires to his chest, and muttering, "He killed them. He killed them all." Half mad with fear and exhaustion, the miner collapsed and was cared for by the villagers. That night the baron came. Some say that the miners must have dug too deep, that they had pierced the walls of hell itself, for the baron came with an army of demons at his back. Crazed he was, thirsting for vengeance against those he called thieves and traitors. His demons laid waste to the village, and when the sun rose the following morning, nothing remained but a few smoldering ruins. The other villages heard of the baron's assault from those few poor souls who managed to flee his wrath. The men gathered, arming themselves with whatever weapons they could find. Together they marched on the castle to hold the baron to account. As the men approached, they cried out in terror at the sight, for from the walls were hung bodies of those miners who had toiled so long in the baron's mines. The baron himself stood atop the gatehouse and called down to the assembled villagers. He said it was not he who had brought the demons to their lands, that he was seeking the weapons he needed to defeat them. The men did not believe the baron, and they began to attack the castle gate, hammering at it with axe and pick, while the baron pleaded with them to leave for their own good. As the villagers continued their assault, black clouds began to swirl in the sky, forming a dark spiral centered on the castle. The baron retreated from the walls, disappearing within the castle. The villagers were afraid, fearing dark magic at work. A chittering of stones begun in the area. The villagers clutched their heads in pain as the voices of 1,000 demons sought to claim their souls. Some fled, others were driven into animalistic rage and fell upon their friends in a wild frenzy. Still the clouds circled and the sky turned black. An echoing scream reverberated across the valley. A bolt of lightning erupted from the castle and into the blackened sky. An azure light could be seen for miles, and time seemed to stop. Then a silent explosion tore the castle apart, sending a shockwave across the valley, flattening everything in its path. The remaining villagers were torn limb for limb, and even those who had already fled to higher ground were deafened by the blast and pelted with debris. In the days after the event, men from the village returned to the site of the castle to recover the remains of the dead and attempt to find some reason for the disaster. The castle was almost completely collapsed in upon itself, as if it were swallowed by some great beast from beneath. The stories say that those who tried to explore the flame-scarred ruins went mad. Some of the men took their own lives, others attacked their families, following the orders of the dead baron who commanded them from beyond the grave. From that time until now, we have avoided the whole of the valley. It is cursed, and no good will ever come of unearthing the secrets of the past. With that, the old lady is tired. She seems winded, and she asks to go back home, and Irina takes her back home after translating this all to English for you. And you settle down for the night now with the terrible history of this castle and this valley that you're marching into, and we'll end it there for this week. There we go.
Head to head.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll be fine.
Yeah,
that doesn't sound that bad, right? Army of demons.
Yeah, going mad, army of demons.
Yeah. It was probably a mistranslation, is really what it was.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sure that was
She's just a crazy old lady, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure that once Henri joins us, we'll have it well in hand.
Oh, yeah, Henri's here. We'll say Henri is in Darius's house. That'll be the easy way to introduce him for next session.
Hey,
Oh, there's a Frenchman here. Whoa, where'd you come from?
quick, get him.
Okay, so yeah, that'll bring us to the end of session 1. We've got, yeah. Excellent. Let's do a round table, find out whatever he's got going on between now and then, and we'll call it a week. Jeff, what do you got going on?
Well, normally we play Delta Green on Friday and One Ring on Saturday over on twitch.tv/the Lollygaggers. But we got a sick player, so I think we're going to take the week off. But we will be back on Monday for some Ultraviolet Grasslands, so you can come check that out. I'm also over on Defenders of Cobalt on Saturday in the morning or like early afternoon. We're playing 5th edition, and at night we're playing Darkest House from Monty Cook Games. So fun times.
Very cool. Megan, what do you got going on? Have you been playing board games?
Funny you should say that, Matt. I took the plunge and I've played Twilight Imperium 4th edition.
Oh,
Wait.
can I come over and play?
Yes, you
Me
can.
too.
I've always wanted to play that game, but I don't know anybody who would play it.
It's freaking amazing. It's freaking amazing. It takes forever, and you have to have the expectation that it's going to take you like 12 hours to play.
Yeah.
But man, with some good snacks, it's fantastic.
Seriously, let's talk afterwards. I really want to play that game.
Okay, absolutely.
That's awesome. I bought Hero Quest and played it with my son for the first time this past weekend, and he loved it. So we're going to make our way through the campaign, and I bought the 2 expansions, and we're doing Hero Quest.
Awesome.
Very cool.
Nice.
Aaron, what do you got going on?
Next Wednesday on Garblag Games at, I want to say, 9 p.m. GST, we'll be starting Lex Arcana.
Ooh.
Yeah, Lewis is going to run a group of us through Lex Arcana, so that should be a fun mini campaign. And then Thursday, I'll be back same time, 9 p.m. GMT for the other Modifius 2D20 game that we're playing right now, a little bit of Dune with Siege Abikat. And then Thursday night, I'll be here.
For more Achtung. And Jeremy, what do you have going on?
Dude, be hanging out with you awesome people. I'll do some Ultraviolet on Monday with Jeff there. We'll do a little Pathfinder on Defenders of Cobalt on Wednesday night, 9 Central, and then, hopefully punch some Nazis next Thursday.
Yes. Yeah, I think we're getting close now. I think we're getting close to the Nazis to punch.
Yeah.
I feel like someone's going to get punched next time. It might not be Nazis.
Yeah.
It might be a friendly
nestle in
Hungarian.
head-to-head.
Oh,
We'll just
I was
see
gonna
where the
say-
dream takes us.
It's gonna be Evan. That's who I thought you were talking about. Just saying. All right. Yeah, and I'll be back next Thursday because we don't have Alien next week, and those are the only games I've going on right now. So yeah, I'll be here next Thursday, same Actun time, same Actun channel for more Cthulhu. Thanks to the players for playing. Thank you to Modifius for supplying Garblag Games with copies of this new game. And thanks for everybody who joined us. Hopefully you had a good time, and we'll see you
Awesome.
next Thursday.